Sorry if there's wind in this video, but the front is changing. Hey there, everybody. What we're looking at is my favorite plant in the world, New Jersey tea, Ceanothus americanus, and you can see, probably, that it is crazy popular. It's not just me. There are dozens of different insects all over this. I see at least 6 different types of bee, a couple of wasps, some syrphid flies, a mud dauber over there, a couple of the little emerald bees around where this honeybee is. It's popping. If I step back, you might be able to make out just how much activity there is going on. It's craziness. Let's look at a few other things. The figs are growing on. I do need to come in here with a pair of snips and just cut this side stem off. That would be a wise decision, so that the tree can just finish closing that over and sealing it off, and then just direct all of the energy to those growth tips. But that's fig number 1. That's a Chicago hardy. And over here in our little wood chipped area, adjacent to the persimmon bed, where you can see all of the Monarda going crazy, getting ready to flower. I'll show you those in a sec. But we have our purple flowering raspberry from a wonderful friend of the channel. We have a few chokeberries in here, and we have our other little Chicago hardy fig. But just as a kind of an update to where these guys were at just a few weeks ago, it's encouraging to see just how much they've put out in growth and how well suppressed some of the weed pressure has been. We can come through here and throw down some more grass trimmings if I decide I'd like to mow, which I don't. Or we can come and bring some more wood chips. I could even go with some larger grade instead of some of the fines that I had as the dressing. We've also been scattering around some of the good King Henry to make sure that we're getting a decent additional crop of it in the fall, and just to pad out our numbers. Our potatoes, covered in a couple of different potato beetles. Their grubs are coming in strong. These guys are the 3-lined potato beetles, and I haven't seen any predators attacking them, so unfortunately I am the predator. And then we also have in here, I'll move my head, some Colorado potato beetles. And again, not seeing a whole lot of predatory action towards them. I'm not seeing any carcasses or anything like that. And I haven't seen any birds paying any particular attention to this edge or to this edge. But the potatoes that are in with the mint and the raspberries and things are faring better as far as pest pressure goes. But this garden bed with the persimmons is growing pretty heavily. The grass mulch that we threw down in here, some of the plants have come back through, and that's okay. The amount of stuff growing that is not intentional has been reduced, and I'm pretty happy about that. And you can see a whole bunch of Monarda fistulosa right here. This is the native variety to here. And when you get these little buds, that's when you know that it's gonna flower real soon. They get like a real chunky fist looking piece, as opposed to some of the younger bits that'll just, yeah. Here's one. That's what they'll look like before a stalk is ready to flower, and then you'll get those. I think they're pretty neat. But the reason we're down here in this bed that I'm walking through, just to get us a better angle on things. I had talked a little while ago about the persimmons not looking really great and not being sure exactly what it was, but we have new shoots of persimmon coming up. So my indecision in itself was a decision, and I'm not the first to think that, I'm sure, but it's true nonetheless. My indecision was a decision in and of itself. And so by not actively managing them, digging them out, cutting them back, disturbing the roots again and again, there's another one coming up right here. This guy does have a little bit of competition, but a nice big healthy stalk, good leaf out, and it seems protected right now. So we'll monitor those, but I'm happy that I didn't just dig out the ball and replace them with the figs. I'd much prefer to have a whole bunch more added in than to dig and replace. And I see a little bit of good King Henry seed right here. Let's go find somewhere to toss that. So we're actually down in the duck yard now. There's the coop, big coop at least, but you're gonna see like a real sea change in just a moment. This is the duck space. Hey there. So we're just down in here. I had cut back an autumn olive that was in this space. Let's see if I can turn a little bit. There we go. So in this corner here was an autumn olive that we cut back because it was really crowding out this elderberry here just to the side of me. And so we're just going to scatter some of that good King Henry seed in here because I'd like to get a little bit more edible greens for the ducks going, and I'd like to have a little bit of competition for some of the wineberries and running rubus. So let me flip the camera back around and I'll show you guys a little bit more of what's happening. Device is too hot. So this is some kind of carrier species. I believe it's a pignut hickory. With the early season freeze, this had absolutely died back at the tips. You can see some of the damage here. And it's leafing out considerably harder. I think this fall it may be in my interest to come in and prune some of these bits that are coming off of what was the main leader and just select a new leading tip. I think that that's going to be probably the best course of action. The rest of these guys are splitting off just okay enough, and some of their damaged growth tips only have a single node growing, so those will need less management. The black cherries that are in here and the beeches are trying their best to go back from their root energy, and that's okay. And you can see that with a greater amount of sunlight coming in here, we have a whole lot of wineberry running rubus type brambles. And I will honestly admit that for someone who wears sandals or goes barefoot pretty often, this right in here is less than enjoyable. But the sumacs are flowering, which I wasn't actually expecting. They are a little bit late, but I'm surprised and happy to see them coming in anyway. Once these guys start flowering on these spikes a little bit closer to maturity, we'll come in and thin them a bit because I enjoy the drink made from them. and there is local interest for, you know, quote unquote foraged sumac flower for lemonade drinks. So that'll be another source of conversations at our market table. Norris and Darkwing are still pacing the fence together. You can see them. There they go. We were talking to some friends who raise birds and who have experience with growing out flocks like rapidly. And one of them believes that part of the amount of displays, let's call it, that they are displaying for words. Device is too hot, brain is too hot, it's warm out again. One of our friends was saying that it's likely the influx of all of the new life that's here and the fact that we have gone from 5 birds to 25 birds in the matter of a week, 10, 11 days. And so our management strategy so far has been to rotate them, one in, one out, and then swap the next day. And we're also overnighting them in alternating coops. There's a nesting mother with chicks in each coop, and May, June, the white-headed girl is the last one to be building her nest. So she's kind of fancying Darkwing, and Norris doesn't like that. And there are folks who prefer to manage their ducks in such a way that the boys fight it out and establish dominance for the year, and then they're pretty much hunky-dory. But the dog is horribly reactive to the sound of duck violence and the sight of duck violence. And if you've ever heard a husky scream, they have nothing on Pseudo when he is having a meltdown. So we try to avoid it. It's pretty upsetting for him. It takes him a long time to calm down from it. It takes us a long time to calm down from it. So we just try to avoid that. But if you guys have any ideas besides letting him fight it out, I'm all ears. Please share your thoughts. I'm going to share some video of ducklings now. So these kids are the younger ones. They were born Saturday morning. There are a handful of eggs left in the corner that I do have to come in and get, but to be honest, she's really not keen on me coming into the coop or reaching into the coop, so it's gonna have to wait for an evening when someone is around to help me and I can avoid being attacked in the face by yet another duck. But these babies are a couple of days old. This dish on the left, the white one, is a little too big for them, but they have some little baby dishes in the middle. And you can hear Norris over here, tail a wagon. Making daddy noises, but we are still doing a few more security upgrades for the run before we're comfortable letting these little guys out. And yeah, I'll show you the older kids. They're a little bit more they're more duck, they're bigger, but yeah. One of these kids in here, I think they're behind Sade. They have eyeglasses like me, and I love them. And I hope, there she is. I hope it's a girl, because look at that. Look at those, she's wearing glasses. Oh, it's so cute. Sade is very much the don't you talk to my kids, but her babies are adorable and I like them a lot. But she's getting rowdy, so we're gonna close up shop. So here's Trix and the kids. She likes to get up on this fence even though it's not nailed into anything. I don't know. Anything to get away from the kids, I guess. But, yeah. We're getting ready to let these guys out into the yard to kind of run around. They're of a better size, and I'd like for them to be able to stretch it out and go running and hunting and generally have some fun outside. So, yeah, you gonna bite me? Yeah, I haven't done anything to you. It's nice and cool in here in the shade. I will say that. I will have to come in here and throw down a little bit more shave. You'd be amazed how messy ducklings are unless you've raised them. But hope y'all are well. Just thought I'd give you a little bit of an update, what's going on, what we've got rocking. We're almost done creating the grow out space for all of these little individuals once Trix decides she's back in the game. And yeah, we'll be sure to share some notes on that as we get closer. So, until next time, thanks for watching. Happy planting.